I would hazard that it's a mix of both, Akshita. There is definitely an element of the surprise element, as you rightly put it out. The Prime Minister does like springing these surprises. So I can categorically confirm that this visit was on a strictly need-to-know basis. I would guess that apart from the Army Chief, the CDS, a few members of the PMO, and some members of the Operations Directorate of the Army and the other forces, nobody else would have really known about this visit. That's how these things actually work. But as far as sensitivities and security on the ground, absolutely, that must have played a part as well. This is, after all, the Prime Minister of the country. But we have to, remember that there is also an element of messaging in this, a very substantial element of messaging. This is tantamount to Xi Jinping arriving at the border if it happened on the other side. Let's never forget that, Akshita. This is the chief executive of one of the countries involved in this standoff heading to the very sector of the country, the Union Territory, where soldiers are massed against an adversary with no signs of it de-escalating for the last 60 days. So the messaging here is clear. The Prime Minister, who has never shied away from expressing his love for spending time with troops, is doing so in a scenario where there is no festival. This is not Diwali. This is literally a war-like situation that's taking place. And as India Today has reported quite regularly, that far from being a disengagement, the Chinese have actually mobilized in an even larger way. I think the message to troops is very important. For us as civilians, sometimes it's these things tend to look like spectacle, but on the ground, I can tell you, as far as troops are concerned, to see their Prime Minister arrive there, speak to them, interact with them, also sends out a very, very valuable message of political will and political backing. It's one thing to say that the government has given the army a free hand, or the forces a free hand to act in in whatever way they wish against the Chinese. But these are uncharted territories for generations of soldiers on the ground. 45 years ago is when the last violence happened between India and China. So these are very, very new times between India and China. And therefore, the Prime Minister being there, interacting with the troops, and I surely hope that we get some audio from what the Prime Minister said to the troops, because it's going to be very important, I can tell you, for troops on the ground to see their Prime Minister and actually hear from him at this very uncertain and crucial time.
When we talk about symbolism, Shiv, a few days back, we'd received word that Rajnath Singh is going to be there. Suddenly, the news came in that his visit has been rescheduled. Do you think that, was something that was decided because they felt that a stronger message needs to be sent? Yes, Rajnath being there would have been symbolic by itself. But instead of the Defence Minister, you now have the Prime Minister himself personally there.
I don't know if I should say this, but I would even guess that maybe there was no plan for Rajnath Singh to go at all. Maybe it was, maybe it was a kind of distraction amidst the plans for the Prime Minister to go there. These things don't happen on a dime. They take a fair bit of planning, even though the surprise element definitely exists. But I would go out on a limb and say that there may have been this sense that the Defence Minister Rajnath Singh was going, but I think given the political situation in Delhi, given some of the criticism about what has been said so far, I think a thought process had already begun to form within the Prime Minister's office and the government in general, Akshita, that this one has to be led from the front. And I think the Prime Minister arriving there in Ladakh, even though the Prime Minister has spoken about this, he's held an all-party meeting as well. Apart from being a message to the troops and a message to China, it's a message to Indians all over the country and all over the world that this is the kind of importance that the Indian government is giving to this situation, not just in terms of it being a very visible thing playing out in the media, but that this is a serious situation. So far, the biggest question on people's minds has been, are we going to war? Is there going to be an actual shooting war between India and China? It's almost unthinkable for most people. The Prime Minister being there in one way sends a message saying, we don't want war, but we need to be prepared. The Prime Minister actually going to an operational sector is a very big deal. Akshita, let me put this into perspective for our viewers as well. The Prime Minister going to the line of control on Diwali or Holi or, going to Arunachal Pradesh in Tawang and spending time with troops is one thing. He does. I can tell you, I've interacted with the Prime Minister. He's always said that he loves spending time with troops. But this is a completely different scenario. This is an operational area. These troops are operationally deployed on combat missions defending Indian territory. You've got the Chinese sitting on Indian patrol territory in Pangong. You've just had a very bloody clash that has turned India-China relations completely on its head in the Galwan Valley. The China continues to mobilize and escalate, as does India in response. So you've got two nuclear neighbors with very, very powerful militaries now massed against each other in a situation that has the entire world sitting up and taking notice. So what you've got now is, a country leader heading to the very operational zone where this massing of, troops on both sides is taking place. So it's multi-layered. The messaging is multi-layered. It's way beyond symbolism. This takes the idea of political backing, political will for the military. You've seen, news reports, Akshita, of the government, giving the army a free hand.
Yes.
That's just superficial stuff. That doesn't mean anything to the common Indian. But when you look at the Prime Minister being in Ladakh on the front lines, interacting with the troops, and we will have more information in just a short while from now, it gives you a sense of the country's leader being in what could very well be a war zone very soon. God forbid it turns into a war zone, but it could be. And the Prime Minister being there at a time when you've got not hundreds, but tens of thousands of troops on both sides in a literal eyeball-to-eyeball situation in 4 friction points and counting. There is no underplaying what this really means, Akshita.
Yes, Shiv, just stay with us. I also want to take this across to Abhishek Bhalla, defense editor. He's joining us live from Leh. Abhishek, any details now that are pouring in with regards to what the Prime Minister's schedule is going to look like? A lot of information that's coming in that suggests that Prime Minister Modi could also be interacting with the soldiers who were injured in the clash at Galwan.
That's right, Akshita. Currently, he was part of some discussions at a brigade headquarter at 11,000 plus feet. Not easy for the Prime Minister because, these are high altitude areas and even the military personnel need to acclimatize before moving around in these places. And, the moment they reach here, they spend some time relaxing. But that's not the case. The Prime Minister landed at Leh early this morning, and within minutes he took a flight in a military helicopter to this brigade headquarter where he interacted with commanders on the ground, with troops. We are hearing that he will visit the Leh hospital where several Indian Army Jawans are recovering. These were those brave hearts who were injured in the Galwan Valley clash on the 15th of June. One can imagine, what a big morale booster. It might sound cliched, Akshita, to say this again and again, but for a troop on the ground, a handshake or a pat on the back from his commanding officer is a big deal. So just imagine the Prime Minister of the country coming and paying a visit and patting their backs. They will be extremely proud of this fact that they have the full backing of the topmost leadership of this country. And that's why this is way beyond just symbolism and messaging. This is a time which is, almost warlike. There is a confrontation for the last 2 months now. Several meetings have been held. Military dialogue is continuing. After every discussion, deliberations at the level of the army, we hear that, there is a pullback that's been decided. But we've been also reporting that nothing has transpired on the ground. Nothing has changed on the ground. Both sides, the troop mobilization, the build-up continues along with heavy armor, artillery. So amid all this, for the Prime Minister to be in the thick of action and not depend on any filtered information, but speak one-on-one with those dealing with the situation is definitely very, very significant.
And let me just explain each visual that we've got so far, every picture that we've received as of now of the Prime Minister's visit. The first picture, and we'll put that out for you full frame, is of the Prime Minister along with the Chief of Defence Staff and the Army Chief Naravne there. That seems to be the moment when the Prime Minister just landed in Nemo. That is a picture. You've got on the Prime Minister's right, General Bipin Rawat, the Chief of Defence Staff, and on his left, left, you've got General Naravne there, the army chief. The next picture is of the Prime Minister seemingly getting a debriefing from senior personnel. Even in that picture, you can see closest to, in fact, the frame, the Chief of Defence Staff. This is the picture there of the Prime Minister seated along with several senior personnel. And it looks like the debriefing is being held by Lieutenant General Harinder Singh in that picture. Then you have another picture, and this is the third picture we have of all the personnel seated there, and it looks like the Prime Minister perhaps was also addressing them. We are going to keep getting you more pictures, more details of exactly what the Prime Minister's schedule is looking like. Shiv, you made a point about how this is such a big headline, the likes of what it would be like if Xi Jinping actually visited this area. But the reality is that actually would never happen, because we're talking about a country that's not put out the details of what happened at the Galwan Valley, that's not acknowledged any of its casualties. And correct me if I'm wrong, but Xi Jinping hasn't made a statement so far on it.
Mind all Indians, and I'm glad you brought that up, Akshita. 16 Chinese soldiers, including a commanding officer, were killed in Galwan. Those are figures that the Chinese have not put out, and that number is likely to be much larger because there were grievous injuries. So I'm just setting that on the record because that is categorical information from the Indian Army's tactical debrief, not from army sources. You're absolutely right. It is unthinkable to imagine that Xi Jinping would arrive there for many reasons. One, he's got a lot of things on his hand in terms of the Chinese virus, in terms of Hong Kong, and what's happening on the Indian border is a major element of what is a much larger level of conflict that China faces right now. China has always tried to give the impression that the India border is not of great importance to them in terms of this kind of political messaging. So they usually speak through the People's Liberation Army and not politically. So you won't see commissars or Xi Jinping or any even political leaders actually being there. So it's unthinkable for that kind of thing to happen, because that has always been China's posture. We will speak through the military, not through our politicians. On the other hand, Xi Jinping is definitely, inadvertently, given what we're seeing on the ground right now, it is something that is very directly linked to Xi Jinping's own doctrine for the Chinese army. And that's there for the world to see. We'll be breaking a story on that a little later today. But there's no comparison between the two countries when it comes to the political leadership. China is a country that does not acknowledge its dead. It does not acknowledge the families of soldiers who've given their lives in operations. And let's always remember that soldiers are soldiers. They shouldn't have politics, and usually they don't have politics. In China, they don't have a choice. They literally, when they die, they don't get acknowledged, and certainly not in public. In India, what you have now is the Indian Prime Minister who's going to be meeting with the injured soldiers. And I'm sure we'll be getting images of that in just a short while from now as well, Akshita. You had pictures, remember, last week of the Army Chief, General Naravane, meeting with those injured soldiers at the 153 General Hospital in Leh. There are injured soldiers in other hospitals, like the field hospital in Thangse, which is not far from Leh as well. All that imaging tells you that the very highest leadership, it's a message not just to the army, but to Indians everywhere, and to anyone who's even remotely interested in this conflict, which I imagine is millions of people around the world. Here you have a leader who thinks it important enough to be personally present with his troops. I completely agree with what Abhishek Bhalla in Leh has just said, that this is not just about morale. The army's morale is very high. I can categorically tell you, anyone saying that the army's morale is not high is lying. It's a categorical falsehood. The Josh is extremely high in Ladakh. The fact that India gave it back to China in Galwan is something that is important. But this is a serious situation. This is not a time for chest thumping and jingoism and nationalism. This is a time for serious sobriety. It's a military situation. And what the Prime Minister has done by arriving there is saying, we recognize the seriousness of the situation. I am here with you. Yes, of course, in the background, the army is fully with you. The political leadership is fully with you in whatever action you choose to take to defend Indian integrity and sovereignty. But to be personally there, listen to troops, address them, is a whole new thing. It's very difficult for people like you and me to imagine it because, let's remember that while we watch this situation evolve from, hundreds of kilometers to the south of Leh, sitting here in the national capital, Akshita, and elsewhere in the country. For troops on the ground, they've been deployed for months together. They've just seen a brutal winter. Now they're seeing a summer season, which is not going to end, with this standoff. It is very clear that the disengagement will not happen before winter, possibly even after that. So you've got troops there who are living with the difficulty of a literally endless situation where the end is not really visible on the horizon. So for the Prime Minister to come there and say, you guys are here sweating it out, toiling it out, freezing it out rather, against the Chinese. And I am here with you. And I'm here to tell you that whatever you need, I'm going to give it to you. And whatever moral support, political leadership, guidance, anything you guys need, I'm here with you. That's what the Prime Minister is doing here.
Shiv, just stay with me. We'll just put out the map that we've just pulled out now to explain in context where the Prime Minister is currently. He is at Nimmo, and we want to really explain to you what that means. Where is he when you put it in context with regards to the Galwan Valley, to the Pangong Tso, and to Leh? Shiv, if you can just explain it to us. We've just put out that map showing the distance, really.
Yes, Akshita. So Nimmo is a brigade headquarters. It's just a short distance away from Leh. Leh, remember, is not just a town, but also a district, Akshita. So the Nimmo is a brigade headquarters. It's east of Leh, and it's a place where the army is deployed. It's not very far from an Indo-Tibetan border police camp as well. So the interaction that the Prime Minister had with both commanders in that picture where you see him sitting under a camouflage tent and speaking to officers and being briefed. In that picture, we are told that there are ITBP as well as army personnel there for that particular briefing. So he was briefed by both the army and the ITBP. The picture before that, so Nimmo is a brigade headquarters which comes under the Karu division. That's the 3 infantry division which is based in Karu, which is just north of Leh. Akshita is the division headquarters. It's more in the mountains really. It's a mountain division, of course, and the Nimmo brigade comes under the Karu division. It's one of the infantry brigades that comes under the Karu division. So he's being briefed there by the brigade command. He's also had a briefing from the Leh Corps commander. Either it's already happened or will happen a little later. Like I said, there is still no clarity because the step-by-step information about what the Prime Minister's schedule is being shared, shared in a step-by-step sort of manner, as it has happened in the past as well. There's always a surprise element and secrecy around it. But I imagine that the Prime Minister will be visiting. Actually, we can be sure that the Prime Minister is visiting the General Hospital in Leh, where he will be visiting with injured soldiers. I wonder if the Prime Minister, Akshita, will be visiting a forward area. A proper forward area near the front lines, near the line of actual control. We do know, like I said, I'm repeating myself, but this is important. The Army Chief last week had visited Dabrok, Chushul, Demchok, which are all, practically on the line of actual control in central and southern Ladakh. But it remains to be seen. The Prime Minister has pulled many surprises before. I wonder if he will visit one of the friction points. Seems unlikely because these are areas where there is a large amount of mobilization. There is a lot of secrecy. Since we broke the news, I've been getting questions on Twitter about whether the Prime Minister will be going to Galwan. Well, let me just say that I would leave nothing. I would rule out nothing, but I would be very surprised if the Prime Minister was taken to one of the actual friction points because there are obvious security issues as far as that is concerned. So it may not be, but there are other areas, forward areas where the Prime Minister can obviously visit, from a security perspective that could potentially be on the table as well. But we'll keep updating our viewers, Akshita. For now, the Prime Minister has visited Leh and he's visited the Nimmo brigade area. And we'll be updating our viewers very shortly on whether he's going to be visiting more areas.
We've been discussing how, this is such a message, a solid message that's going out, a morale booster for our forces. And when the Prime Minister meets those injured soldiers, the soldiers who were injured in the Galwan Valley clash, it's going to be a message essentially for the entire nation, Shiv. I want to understand from you as to how you think China will perceive this visit by the Prime Minister.
Well, that's going to be really interesting. I imagine there will be a statement from their foreign office. They'll have to play it pretty delicately because, after all, this isn't a military person. This is the country's government leadership on this. They will probably put out a statement, not an adversarial statement, but something probably on the lines of, disengagement is happening and both the sides have spoken so far, etc., etc. I wonder if they will specifically comment on the Prime Minister actually visiting that area. They'll probably throw out a formula statement about how both sides should follow protocol and disengage according to existing agreements. But make no mistake about one thing, Akshita. The Chinese are watching. They like to give the impression that their politicians, have other things to do. But make no mistake, they've got all eyes fixed on what's happening in Ladakh. So does Xi Jinping. He hasn't commented even once about this, but that's more a indication of what China is all about than what their real sentiments and feelings about Ladakh truly are. The very fact that the Chinese have mobilized in such a gargantuan manner, 4 divisions, more divisions coming, escalation while talking disengagement, tells you that this is not some local level, tactical movement. This is stuff that's being ordered right from the very top of the Chinese Communist Party. This is way beyond just the People's Liberation Army, which is already in the vice grip, really, of Xi Jinping. He's made sure that the PLA is completely in his clutches. In many ways, to people watching all across the world, the Prime Minister's visit, the world knows what China is all about. The world knows that rhetoric, propaganda is something the Chinese have mastered, even though they've actually been exposed in large measure during this Ladakh standoff. So I think they will have to be a little measured in how they react to the Prime Minister being there. They won't do it directly, if I know China really well. But for all those watching all across the world, the Prime Minister being in Ladakh in many ways amplifies the differences between India and China.